Good enough that I got my son the Aquaman skin. I mean, really, what more can you ask in a mom? I found the whirlpool. I did the swimming trial. I caught 2 different kinds of fish. For those of you who didn't see my note on Facebook or the video I uploaded, we started making a new font last Tuesday. That's kind of what this whole thing's about, is kind of a look into how I do fonts. It's not necessarily the correct way to do fonts. I'm sure every font designer has their own way of doing it. And I just thought I'd give a little window into mine. For those of you who do design fonts, it might be interesting. I know I'd love to see how some other people do it. Or if you don't, maybe you just want to see how it's done or learn if it's something you're interested in doing yourself. It's also just kind of relaxing, to watch people draw and design letters. So I'm hoping this can be that a little bit. I started a new font on my first stream. It was okay. I think it looked nice. But, so this whole thing is new to me. And in my nervousness of what do I do now? I kind of got into my rut. I kind of tend to do this with fonts. I start liking a new style and I just keep doing it over and over again. So I feel like the font I was starting on Tuesday was out of habit and nervousness. I was going with what I knew. I thought I looked a little too much like a cross between Moonbright and Pound Cake or Brandy Buck, which are all fairly recent fonts of mine. And one of the things that I really try to do, it's hard, is I want my pack of fonts, because I do sometimes as well, I guess this is a hype alert or whatever, I do sell a font, whole bundle if you're interested. I like to have the value of my fonts. You're not just getting the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. With some, some people, I know I like this font designer. I know I can count on being this kind of font. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just for me, I want my packet, my whole collection or whatever, to offer a little more versatility. I also think it helps me grow as a designer if I'm trying to do different things. I'm going to start something new, and I decided that I would kind of get a little bit of more of an idea of where I wanted to go beforehand, so I cheated a little bit. I started doodling this morning. I think I know kind of where I want to go. Although, to be fair, if you're interested or have ideas, feel free to throw them into chat. I'll take a look at it. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I did start some doodles. And this is kind of what I came up with. I have had the song Unsteady stuck in my head lately. I don't know if it's legal for me to sing any of it. But the one that goes, hold on to me. Anyway, oh my gosh, just stuck in my head. I've been literally thinking about it all day. And that is one of the places where I get inspiration from when I'm making fonts. Songs, kids' cartoons. I don't know. I get, sometimes it's a picture, sometimes it's a feeling. I get these things in my mind and I'm just like, how does that translate to lettering? And, so I was kind of trying to decide how something like that song would look in letters. A lot of times I try to really smooth things out and make them look highly stylized. But one thing I've been really appreciating lately is letters that do look more raw, more organic. I just feel like they hold so much more emotion in them. And so that's kind of what I want to do. I think we're going to give that a try. So I've got a sample here of what I was thinking, but we're gonna start fresh. So what I'm gonna do, and for those of you that weren't here last time, I work in Font Lab 5. Font Lab is a company, makes font programs. They have several. Their newest is Font Lab 7. And I will admit, it can do some things that this program can't. But one, because apparently I'm getting old and it's harder to change. And two, because I have not yet found anything, FontLab 6, FontLab 7, or like Illustrator. I haven't found anything that feels quite as natural to draw in as FontLab 5. I just feel like when I draw in here, it looks how I'd imagine. I have an easier time working with it. So that's why I'm using FontLab 5 right now. I am interested in possibly trying to do some work online, streaming in FontLab 7 in the future. I'm just not as comfortable in it yet. It's still kind of a learning process for me. I need to be learning it more, but again, it's just when I have FontLab 5, it's so much easier to work in. So that's what I'm doing for now. So we're gonna go ahead and I guess draw a few letters. But what I do is kind of like what I did here. If you look over here on this panel, I don't know if you can see my mouse, okay? I can actually make this a little bit bigger right here. So it's got all the characters here. And there's different, you can select different characters to put in here. I made my own little encoding set that I start with. And you put each of the letters in each of these boxes and such. But a lot of times I like to draw all together if they're not separated into their little boxes yet, because I like to see it all together. I end up separating them later. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna leave this particular character and just have it in 0 for right now as a reference, just to kind of look at as I'm drawing some more. But I want to write some other words that have some of the other letters. And a lot of times I do this where I choose a word that kind of emphasizes the feeling I'm going for the font. And then I know that sounds, it helps me. So I'm gonna go to letter A over here, lowercase a, if I can find it. There we go. I'm gonna come over here, and oh, just so you know, sometimes I forget, you can't really do space or enter until you make a space. So I'm gonna go up here. Got a space now. Woohoo! I'll probably change the width of it later. Hi, Rudimental. Nice to see you. But sorry. So we're gonna start in the A. So we're in this A box. I'm just gonna start drawing. So we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna type A, so now we can see what it is we're doing. And I'm gonna grab my paintbrush. Now it doesn't show up automatically. So you just have to go to toolbars, paint, bring that over here because that's where I like it. Okay. And I'm going to draw a little bit thinner than I usually do. I'm gonna use a 10 width. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to really bring out just some of the, you know, almost accidental width changes in there. But we'll get to that. So we're just going to draw some things. What words, if you're thinking, what words do you think would be good for this kind of font? I'm thinking something, I know I said the word raw a lot, but like in that song, just the raw emotion of that. The things are hard right now. What do you have to hold on to? The type of feeling I'm trying to express in this font would be like the Frodo and the Sam in Mordor. And they're like, how could things be any worse? And then Sam looks up at the stars and realizes that even this is just a passing thing. And that in the darkest night, you still see those stars that shine for everyone. That's the kind of feeling I really want to show with this font. So if you do have any word suggestions, throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to think unconditional. Let's just start with that because I have that in my mind. So I'm thinking that this will have pretty tall ascenders. Ascenders are the parts that go up, like the top of this D here. You see that? So I'm one of the weird people. I really like using the keyboard that's kind of split. It's ergonomic. I think it's wonderful, which means that I try to use any other keyboard and it's crazy. The only bad thing about it is the keyboard is huge and my pad is also huge, which is not a bad thing. I like it. But when I try to use them together, because I use keyboard shortcuts, it kind of gets little unruly. Okay. I like that. I like that. Okay, I think that these are good words to get me started on. If you do have any, feel free to let me know. I'm going to start making some... So these are not... I might use some of these as letters in the font, but for the most part, I'm considering this to be more of something for me to reference so that when I'm drawing, I can look and see, does what I'm drawing match the same kind of feeling that I have. So that being said, sorry, just moving things. Crestfallen, I like that. So we're gonna actually use that word for the next part I'm gonna do, where I am gonna start making some of these separate. So what I am going to do, first of all, I shouldn't have put this in the A to begin with. I'm gonna put it down here because I'm not messing with the letters, the numbers right now. So it's a good place for me to put this. And you can type over here or you can literally just drag these over here. It's, you know, kind of handy just for your info. So I'm going to get rid of that. I got 1 and 2 over here. Now I'm going to delete this A. I guess I was not deleting. I'm just deleting the info in it. And I'm going to go, I think there's still something in there. Yeah. Oh, well. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to auto-generate these. They're just going to be empty right now, but it's going to give me a starting point. So I just go to glyphs, create glyphs if empty. Great. And what I can do now is I can type a word like crestfallen. Can't see anything, but now I'm going to start making letters individually. And I like to do this creating words again so I can see them in context, and having these words up here that I've already drawn to kind of look at. Is this the same feeling? Now, I will steal letters up there if I think that I've got something good. That C, I actually like quite a bit. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab it. That's over here. So select that. Go here to the actual C. Now I want to get it. I'm not going to get it perfectly spaced. I kind of go and do that later. I just want to get it in there and make it tighter and close to where I want it to be. Technically this should be here. This line there. The red is just kind of a guide. You can use it for metrics. Sometimes I just use it when I want to check different heights, or if I make numbers at different heights than letters a lot of the time. And sometimes I use this as a guide. You can also pull the guides from here or from here. But these don't go throughout the whole font. Like if I pull that guide, it's not going to be in this one. It's just in the one you pull it into. Whereas all these other guides, if you move it in one, it moves it in all the letters. So this is the X height, which is the line. Like if you're looking at your old school elementary, you know, where you had to write and you had like the dotted line in the middle, the dotted line, that's the X height. Okay. That's this line here. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed these videos, please hit like and subscribe. I stream on Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. and release recaps here on YouTube. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below or email me at info@BrittanyMurphyDesign.com. Even when you're lost, you can't lose the love because it's in your heart.